Good morning, my friends. This is Deepak Chopra. I'm with you here again this morning, continuing with our exploration of what we call reality and how understanding fundamental reality is actually the cure for all human suffering, including existential anxiety. As I said, including existential anxiety, all kinds of emotional and physical suffering, and also the fear of death. The only solution is a spiritual solution, and I can summarize it in one phrase: I am. I am is the solution to all problems. Practical, not just metaphysical, not just philosophical, not just theoretical, but practical, very practical. By knowing I am, you can reinvent your experience of the physical body. But you can also reinvent the experience of the physical world, notwithstanding whatever else is happening in the world. You can reinvent your experience of the physical body and the physical world. So let's start with basics. What is fundamental reality? Fundamental reality is that which gives rise to the experience of everyday reality. Once again, fundamental reality is that which gives rise to the experience of everyday reality. Everyday reality includes the experience of your mind, of your body, of the physical world, of all the objects, what we call the theater of space-time and causality, governed by physical or natural laws. So there is a fundamental reality that gives rise to the experience of this reality. That includes the reality of my mind, of my body, of all the objects of experience, of other bodies, other objects, of space, of time, of the so-called laws of causality, physical laws, material Newtonian laws, quantum laws, laws of general relativity or special relativity. But there is a reality that is expressing itself through what scientists refer to as the laws of nature, that then manifests as the physical world and also the experience of the physical world. Right there are two things that are very important. The physical world and the experience of the physical world both depend on the awareness of the physical world. In other words, existence and awareness of existence are synonymous. If there is a reality, or if there is an existence outside of awareness, then it is unknowable. Once again, if there is a reality outside of awareness, then it is unknowable by definition. So awareness of existence and existence are synonymous. Furthermore, as many have pointed out before, non-existence is not an experience. You can't experience non-existence. Once again, non-existence is not an experience. You cannot experience non-existence. And if you can't experience non-existence, then it does not exist by definition. In fact, that's what the word means. Non-existence does not exist. So non-existence doesn't exist. And when people fear death, they're fearing something that doesn't exist. people fear death, which they think is non-existence, they're fearing something that doesn't exist. We can say that categorically because that which doesn't exist is not an experience. So experience, awareness, existence are synonymous. Now, when we look at this through the lens of modern science, even quantum science, relativity, physicalist science, Newtonian science, when you look at this through the lens of science, and science is based on the assumption, science is based on the assumption that matter is the ontological primitive of the universe, which means the ultimate ground of existence is something physical. So science is based on that, number one. And number two, science is also based on what is called subject-object split, which means the subject of experience is different from the object of experience. So in scientific terms, that means the physical universe is the object of experience, and the human body-mind is the subject of experience. And they are separate things. And so the human body-mind, the subject of experience, looks at nature and sees it as it is, and then tries to analyze that and figure out the rules and regulations by which that physical reality is governed. Newtonian laws, quantum laws, laws of general and special relativity, mathematics, and so on. But the assumption still is fundamental reality is physical. And there is a subject-object split. There's me and there's the physical world. Of course, me, the human body, is made of the same stuff as the physical world. It just looks different in the same way as this cup of coffee or this watch and this body and the tree that I'm looking at out there. They all look different, but they're made of the same stuff. Atoms, molecules, force fields, particles that come from a quantum vacuum or from nothingness, whatever you want to call that, the singularity, the realm of quantum entanglement, the superposition of possibilities, and the infinite mathematical space referred to as the fundamental space, Hilbert space from which the universe emerges, whatever we want to refer to that. As we go beyond atoms, molecules, force fields, particles, whatever else, gravity, you end up in nothing. And it's literally no thing, nothingness, whatever name, singularity, quantum vacuum, ultimate reality. That's what science is today. Except science has two notions that seem not so reliable. One is the subject-object split, me and the other. And two, that fundamental reality is physical, because even science tells us that when we go beyond particles, we end up with waves of possibility in mathematical space, and those waves of possibility are non-physical. However, the physicalist model is very useful. It constructed what we call modern civilization, and it also gave us technology that we're using right now in order to exchange ideas. So science is an amazing technology in consciousness that allows us to create a construct called matter, and then to go deep into the nature of that construct and create other constructs, particles, force fields, gravity, laws of regularity of experience. And with that, we have created modern civilization, airplanes, intergalactic probes, microscopes, telescopes, VR, augmented reality, artificial intelligence, deep learning, understanding of genetics, microbiome, understanding the brain, knowing the body as a physical entity, and actually having the ability to influence it through pharmaceuticals, through drugs, and on and on. So it's no doubt that the physicalist model is very effective in explaining a lot of things that happen both in the physical world, the so-called physical world, and the so-called physical body, and in creating technology. But this scientific methodology actually ignores the fact that we also have thoughts and feelings and emotions and instincts and drives and memories and intuition and inspiration and imagination and creativity and vision and meaning and purpose. And none of that can be explained through the dance of molecules or force fields. As you know, that is called the hard problem. Nevertheless, we are in a useful place in our understanding of reality, even through the physicalist model, and that is all form emerges from that which is formless. Once again, the scientific ontology based on matter as the ontological primitive is coming to the conclusion that everything that has form comes out of the formless. And also, furthermore, everything that has form is a phenomenon. It's a movement of atoms and force fields and particles. Where science also runs into a problem is that this movement of atoms and particles is not only unpredictable, although probabilistic, but this movement of particles, which is referred to as not only unpredictable but random, ends up creating a universe and a biological apparatus, the physical body, which follows very precise mathematical laws, regularities, self-regulation, feedback loops. Right now, a body which has about 50 to 100 trillion cells is doing innumerable things. Every cell is engaged in unique activities, coordinating its activities with other cells. Your body is the ultimate example of precision, mathematical precision, with which it regulates itself. How does that happen? Through the random movement of our particles or atoms. We don't know. If I lift my arm up right now, that's a very intentional activity. Starts with a thought. But that also involves regulating the movement of atoms and particles in a very precise manner so I can lift my arm. That's true of any motor activity, speaking. My vocal cords are vibrating now, and they themselves are made of, according to the scientific model, random movements of particles and force fields, and yet I'm vibrating them through intention, giving meaning to noise, which is the vibration of the atmosphere. And by giving meaning to noise, the vibration of the atmosphere, converting noise into words that you can understand if you speak the same language and have an experience. How does that happen? Science can't explain that. Okay, the very fact that I can convert the random movement of atoms and particles that make my body just through an intention. Okay, look here, look there, pay attention to this sound, pay attention to this taste, to this color, to this flavor, give it a meaning, and you construct a physical world. You're doing it right now. How? Okay, if all there is random movement of particles and force fields and probability waves, then you get a little idea. The probability waves exist only in consciousness, and they can be influenced only by consciousness. So before I lift my arm, That's a probability, because I could do a headstand if I was doing and suddenly decided to do yoga, or I could choose to have a cup of coffee. Before I have that intention, everything here is a random movement of particles. As soon as I have the intention, pay attention to an experience, whatever that experience is, then the random movement of particles and atoms becomes a very coherent activity that gives rise to this experience. And the same thing is true of sensory experience. You pay attention to a sound, give it meaning, becomes music or word or a jarring sound. You taste something, chemicals, give it meaning, strawberries or poison or strychnine, anything. So raw experience in the form of sensations, images, feelings, thoughts, perceptions, given meaning becomes the physical world. This is how we are constructing the physical body as well. It's made of atoms and particles and force fields, but also of consciousness. So why is this practical? Why is this practical? Well, we can look at the body in many ways. We can look at it as physical, in which case we can only influence it through what we call physical matter. I have some coffee. That has an effect on my brain, has an effect on my biology. It also increases the experience of energy, etc., etc. It starts with a choice, though, but it changes my experience of the physical body and my experience interactions with the physical world, every physical intervention. And of course, that's true when we look at the body as chemical, biochemical, therefore physical, and we influence it through pharmaceuticals and drugs. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work, but that's what all of modern science is based on, at least modern biology and modern medicine is basically based on the idea of the body as a physical structure. But we can go a little deeper and see that the body as a physical structure is an activity and it's also energy. Okay, so there is now a plethora of energy types of medical interventions, energy medicine, as it's called, or qi. And so all these disciplines like marma therapy, acupuncture, acupressure, Reiki, all kinds of energy influences, including things like qigong and tai chi. They all influence the energy of the body, as if we understand the body as energy. Ayurveda does the same thing. The energetic body is called the prana maya kosha, influenced by pranayam, influenced by mudras and yoga, and so on. And that has a more holistic effect than the purely reductionist physical pharmaceutical intervention. But we can also look at the body as information. So we can look at it as matter, energy, information, to inform, to become form. Information is described as the resolution of uncertainty. So I can say today is hot, you can say it's cold, but when we look at the temperature and say it's 72 degrees, we both agree that it's 72 degrees, even though your experience is it's cold and my experience is warm, somebody else's experience is it's perfectly fine. That's just within the human species, but if you look at other species, what does 72 degrees mean to a crocodile or a mosquito or a butterfly or an alligator or an eagle? We don't know what that experience is. We can say, though, it is experiencing whatever 72 degrees is, which is a human construct called information. the resolution of uncertainty. And today, by the way, scientists are talking about information molecules, neuropeptides and immunomodulators and metabolites. And in fact, science is also looking at creating new information molecules that simulate the intelligence of the body's information molecules. So we can look at the body as information that can be modulated by the information that is present in food as carbohydrates, proteins, fats, minerals, vitamins, all kinds of things. Okay. That's in looking at the body as information. The microbiome is a collection of genetic information. Your physical body was created by genetic information. Of course, its activity, epigenetics, and even the activity of the microbial genes in the brain is modulated by consciousness, of course. What else could it be modulated by? So now go beyond the physical body, the energetic body, the information body, and what do you end up with? The consciousness body. And the consciousness body is formless, has no form, but it is a body. It has the architectural blueprint, invisible, for the appearance of the physical body and the appearance of the physical world associated with that physical body, because they're both one activity in consciousness. So the consciousness body cannot be accessed as an energy field or a particle field or a matter field or an information field, because it is the source of all those modified expressions of self. But consciousness cannot be entered through all those hypothetical fields, matter fields, energy fields, force fields, information fields, because those fields are actually a product of the consciousness field. You are the consciousness field, visible and formless, modifying itself into form and phenomena, where every form is a phenomenon and every phenomenon is the modulation of perceptual and cognitive activity as the experience of form and phenomena. As the experience of form and phenomena. Every form is a phenomenon, and every phenomenon is an experience that is the arising and subsiding of sensations, sense perceptions, images, feelings, thoughts in a timeless, eternal now. That's the formless body. Now, of course, in Ayurveda, these bodies are well mapped out. The physical body is called Annamaya Kosha and Pranamaya Kosha. Annamaya Kosha means derived from food, Pran derived from energy. Then there's a subtle body, Manomaya Kosha, the mental body, Jnanmaya Kosha, the intellectual body, Ahankar, the ego body. So, Mano, Buddhi, Ahankar. Mano is mind, Buddhi is intellect, Ahankar is ego identity, the limited identity, when consciousness modifies itself and identifies with its finite expressions that are arising and subsiding from nothingness in a timeless, eternal now. And we are that. So the subtle body is Manomaya Kosha, mind, Pranamaya, not Prana, Jnanmaya Kosha, intellect, Ahankar, the ego identity. But beyond that is something called the causal body, Jiva, the monad of consciousness that gives rise to ultimately that which we call the Deepak Chopra experience, and everything going along with the Deepak Chopra experience or the Paul Smith experience or the Mary Jo experience. Okay. That's the jiva, the soul, the conscious agent in a matrix of conscious agents, both human and other sentient beings. And all these matrices, this matrix of conscious agents is projecting as the multidimensional experience of the universe depending on the conscious agent and the form it assumes as a biological organism. I hope you get that. I'm sure you do. If not, listen to this, think about this, and reflect it. But your soul, the conscious agent, modifying itself into form and phenomena, is both the physical body and the experience of the physical world. And it is based, of course, on constructs that we have inherited through the ages, through the human mind. Okay, space, time, causality, matter, energy fields, these are constructs that we inherited, and then we learned language to understand these constructs, and we then exchanged our notions about this reality through language, written language, oral language. Written language is just squiggles given meaning. Oral language is noise given meaning. And then there's musical language and mathematical language and language through gestures, body language, eye movements, tone of voice, facial expressions, gestures. These are all parts of the soul's language as it expresses itself as form and phenomena. So that's jiva. That's the causal body. Okay? It's also called karan sharir. So the subtle body is called sukshma sharir. The physical body is called sthul sharir. And the causal body is called causal, means karan, giving rise to karma. The causal body, jiva, conditioned consciousness, and then beyond that, Atman, pure consciousness, connected to Brahman, cosmic, universal consciousness, all one unified, synchronistic experience that creates the everyday reality and experience of the physical world and the physical body. So who is creating the physical body? I am. But I am must be experienced as formless. When do we experience I am as formless? In deep sleep. When do we experience I am as formless? In death, presumably physical death. But we can also experience formlessness in samadhi, transcendence, where the observer, the process of observation, and that which is observed become one unified reality, samadhi, transcendence. We can also experience our formless being through yoga nidra. But the most important thing is to start intellectually right now, knowing that your body is formless. And then once you understand that intellectually, then start to convert that into an experiential knowing. An experiential knowing of your formless body. And then you can modulate it and reinvent it. In fact, that's what I'm doing right now. And I'm being honest about this. I'm right now focused on just proving that biological age is flexible and to some extent reversible. That perfect health is possible through self-regulation. And what is the methodology? Basically, actually, if you want to summarize the methodology, it's yoga. And so if you go to Patanjali's 8 limbs of yoga, yama and niyama, all they mean, by the way, yama and niyama, are the principles of emotional and social well-being, both personally and in interpersonal relationship. So yama and niyama are social and emotional intelligence, the first 2 limbs of yoga. The third limb of yoga is pranayama, regulating the body's energy fields through breath. Hundreds of pranayama techniques, and these days actually I'm enjoying learning them all, or actually I have known them, but I'm perfecting them. So that's the third limb of yoga, pranayama. The fourth is yogasana, the different body postures and movements that stimulate different parts of the vagus nerve to bring about self-regulation in different parts of the body. So yogasana, or the yogic postures, are seats of awareness that modulate the experience of the physical body. Yogasana, fourth limb. Fifth limb is dharana, focused attention and intention, including interoception. That means knowledge of the body from the inside out. Interoception. That's called pratyahara, withdrawal of the senses. Sadhana, that's pratyahara, withdrawal of the senses, which follows yogasana. And then the remaining limbs of yoga, dharana, attention, intention, dhyan, the process of meditation, transcendence through mantra, samadhi, going beyond, becoming meta-human. I think I have my book here. I want to show you. Meta-human is going beyond. Meta, beyond. Human, the conditioned mind. So once again, the 8 limbs of yoga, yama, niyama, social and emotional intelligence, okay, pranayam, influencing prana through breath, yogasana, body postures, dharana, focused attention and intention, dhyan, the process of meditation, and samadhi, transcendence. If you do this, you start to experience your formless body. And once you recognize that that's the real body, everything else is a projection, then you start to modulate it through attention, through intention, through pillars of well-being, etc., which we've talked about. But the fundamental shift has to be in your understanding of the formless, without which there is no form, nor phenomena, nor experience of a physical world or a material universe, so-called. That's the secret. Know yourself as formless being, and the formless being can morph and modulate itself into any experience within the archetypal software framework of the human experience. I can't become a dog, but I can actually simulate maybe a little bit of what the experience of a dog is through downward dog, upward dog. You know, these yogic postures also embody states of consciousness of other sentient beings. There's a lot to play with here once you understand that your body is not made of matter or energy or information, but of consciousness. It is formless, it is timeless, it has no boundaries, and yet it experiences itself bounded as the physical body-mind, experiencing a theater of space-time and causality with other body-minds and other objects, all within itself. So if this makes even a little bit of sense to you, then I am thrilled, and I will continue. And if it doesn't, I'm also happy. I will continue, because that's all I know to do. It is in my nature to want to explore reality and share it with you. So 2 things left. One is the mantra. What do we choose for the mantra today? And so I had some notes, and I actually thought of a very lovely mantra for today, which I think I saved it here. No, I didn't. I did not. It's here it is. Om Tad Brahma. Om. Om is the cosmic I am. Om. The cosmos saying, I am. Tad Brahma, the creator of the universe. Om Tad Brahma, I am the creator of the universe. So just Om. Om is the cosmic I am. Om Tad Brahma. Om Tad Brahma. Or just Om. 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 So, I have here a short intentional prayer from Rabindranath Tagore, old tattered book that I've carried with me throughout my life. So here is the intentional prayer. Life of my life. I shall ever try to keep my body pure, knowing that your living touch is upon all my limbs. I shall ever try to keep all untruths out from my thoughts, knowing that you are that truth which has kindled the light of reason in my mind. I shall ever try to drive all evils away from my heart and keep my love in flower, knowing that you have a seat in the innermost shrine of my heart. And it shall be my endeavor to reveal you, Om, the cosmic I am, in all my actions, knowing it is your power that gives me strength to act. But your it also refers to the I within the I. The I within the I. I am is the truth, the way, and light. But it is not I am Deepak Chopra. It is I am, in which Deepak Chopra is an evolving creative form and phenomenon. Om, Om, Tat, Brahma, Om, Nada, Brahman. The universe is the vibration of Om, cosmic I am. Until tomorrow. Thank you.